you guys, what's up? So look, I have company. This is my friend NATALIE Joy.
Hello.
Yeah, I have friends. So cool. We have all these things in common.
Yes.
So that's part of the reason that I brought NATALIE Joy to join me today, because we have things in common. Mm-hmm. What are the things we have in common?
We're both kind of nerdy. We both moms.
We both come from like the arts.
Yes.
NATALIE Joy's like an amazing director.
Look alike.
Totally. Which one am I?
I don't know. You decide.
Yeah, exactly. We both have anxiety issues or disorders. If you want to.
Have you been diagnosed officially?
Yeah. I
Me
was
too.
a few years ago. I had a subsequent doctor who diagnosed it as disordered, and she put me. I can't remember. There was sort of a scale, and I think it was like if 10 was sort of like really severe anxiety, you can't leave your house. She was like, you're scoring at about a 7, somewhere in the 7-8 range.
My doctor diagnosed me with, I think it was just a generalized anxiety disorder.
Yeah,
There's nothing very specific about it.
So yeah, what we were going to talk about today, aside from sort of the generalities of having anxiety, is we're going to talk about specifically how having anxiety or living with anxiety can affect your sex life. Ooh. It affects my sex life. And just to be clear, not in an awesome way. It's not like I am super anxious and I'm going to have like all this amazing sex. That's not the thing that happened with me and anxiety.
No. I either feel in a really good place whereby my sexual health is right on track, no problem, whatever that level, I mean, we won't need to go into details about that, but like whatever healthy sexual level it is for you, to abstinence, to I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
Which I know seems strange, because I mean, hello, we're beautiful,
yeah,
and you and I are pretty sexual beings.
Yeah, I would say like sexually open, and we're like, you know, fans of sex in general and in concept. Like,
yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the sex.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I am in a relationship where I am fulfilled in every sense of the word. I am in love. I feel respected. I feel attractive. It's really not a case of being in a specific situation whereby I feel like I'm lacking something. It is the anxiety that seems to drive this huge wedge into it creates a massive problem.
Do you ever feel like there's a physiological component to it, that having your off body chemistry, that it's affecting your hormones and
totally.
Yeah, okay.
Totally. And it's kind of tricky to try to explain that to your partner too, because mentally I will look at my partner and think, God, he's beautiful. I find him so attractive. Look at these beautiful things he's doing. I feel, and I can feel all these things, but yet any sort of initiation of any sort of sexual activity, it is not creating any of the chemical reactions
exactly.
that are supposed, I can mentally be turned on, but physically it's just not happening.
Like, I feel intimate with my partner. I appreciate my partner. I love my partner. In the intellectual part of my brain, want to be having sex with him. And then it's like, okay, whatever, like, testosterone or whatever thing, it's not getting to the parts it should be getting to. Like, it's up here and it's not getting down here, and it's not happening, and I can't make it happen.
Yeah. It's gotta be hard. I mean, I know we've had the discussions. It's hard on our partners.
Absolutely.
To be dealing with that.
Absolutely.
Because it can come across as rejection.
And it's also, and even I think for, you know, my partner and I have had countless discussions about this. And even for us, beyond the understanding, okay, it's not rejection, it's frustrating. Yeah. Like, I know how I would feel if I was raring to go and, you know, my partner was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. And I imagine that's the case for a lot of people who are in monogamous relationships where somebody's ill, because this is what it is. It's an illness, and the illness sort of precludes sexual interaction. It's regardless of how much you understand, and my partner's very understanding, and I know yours is too. It's still hard, and it's still, you know, wanting something that your partner can't always give you.
You'll hear things like advice given to you. Well, just do it. Like, just go ahead and do it, and like you'll get into it once you're doing it. And I find that really conflicting advice, because my mama always told me that if you're not into something and you don't feel like doing something, you don't do it. Now, granted, in any relationship, there's a certain amount of give and take,
and I'm
whatnot.
willing to sort of go outside my
But when your entire body is sending you physical signals that this is not something it wants to do,
I can't do
I
it.
can't do it. Like, and it's really hard. And
Imagine walking to the edge of a 20-story building and jumping off.
Yep.
And people saying, it'll be fine. If you just jump off, it will be fine. But every part of you physically is like, no, if I do this, I'm going to die. And it's not that intellectually I think I'm going to die, but it's that kind of physical refusal where your body's like, absolutely not. Do you find that there are sort of thoughts or like, do you have thoughts in your head that make it hard, or things that...
The thing that I find tricky about it is that with anxiety comes often a lot of guilt. And so that is a vicious cycle, right? Because then you feel guilty that you're not necessarily fulfilling your partner's needs, and also you feel upset because you're angry with your own body because it's not reacting. Like, I'm also pissed that I don't want to have sex.
Me too.
Like,
yeah.
I like sex. I'm all about the orgasms. Thank you very much. And the fact that my body is refusing to respond to that is extremely frustrating and guilt-inducing.
The other thing that I struggle with is because I have so much trouble with sex and having sex, and we don't have sex very often. I struggle with it because then I'm like, in the times where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling okay and maybe I can do this, I get self-conscious because I'm like, I don't want it to be a big deal.
Oh,
like,
God, no.
Now this is going to be the sex, and it's going to, like, I'm like, oh my God.
It's going to be amazing because it's been so long.
Or it needs to be amazing, or it needs to be like, I'm like, I just want to like, not quietly, but I just want to be like, hey, let's have some sex, and it'll be great, and like, let's connect, and it'll be a chill thing. But I'm always so worried now that it's going to be like the sex.
There's pressure for them too.
Yeah.
Like, it's awkward for them too, because it's like they leading up to this point, there's potentially multiple times where they've tried to initiate something or done something, and it's been met with I don't know. So it's like, now all of a sudden things that used to be natural, normal process end up sort of being all new again.
Yeah, and I know, like, my partner and I have talked about it, and I know that there are times where I think he can feel responsible for my sexual desire and my sexual appetite, and again, like, I think I understand, because I think I would probably take that on to some degree too. I think it's a way of feeling like maybe you have some control over something you don't actually have control over.
Yeah.
Like, not in a bad, like, I'm controlling you kind of way, but just like, yeah, maybe like there's something I can do or not do. And I mean, it's something that I'd sort of want to throw out there. If you are the partner of someone who's dealing with a mental illness, it's not you. Like, it's not your fault. It's not anything you're doing or not doing. It's just this sort of random, uncontrollable thing that's happening inside your partner's body. It has to do with you because it's affecting you, but it's not anything you're doing or not doing.
Yep.
Are there ways you've sort of found of connecting during these sexual droughts? For lack of a better word.
I think the most important aspect that I've discovered is the open communication part. And setting very clear boundaries.
Okay.
I know what my partner and I have sort of discussed fairly recently is there are no expectations rule. So that what was happening was that I would always be like, oh my God, he wants to have sex. Oh my God, he wants to have sex. And then it's like, no, sometimes he just wants to kiss me.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just wants to hug me. Sometimes, I can understand that. Sometimes you just want to be intimate, cuddle on the couch with your partner. And sure, it would be nice if it led to sex, but sometimes it's okay if it doesn't.
Yeah.
And once we kind of set that boundary of there are no expectations, and, he feels comfortable enough to initiate whatever he wants to initiate, and I feel comfortable enough responding in whatever way I want to respond, without either one of us feeling like it has to lead to something else.
Okay. So talking about those things and letting each other know that, you know, we're still attracted to each other, and we're quite physical with each other in, again, not even non-sexual ways, but without it leading to like the full-fledged sex.
Yeah.
Kissing, hugging, cuddling, holding hands.
Yeah.
Like touching parts of our bodies that no one else is allowed to touch, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for the reason you said, so that it helps sort of maintain that connection, so that when the sex does happen, it's not sort of coming out of left field. It's like, hey, we haven't talked or touched or like done anything for 5 months.
Yes.
Let's get all
Let's have
naked and
intercourse.
randy together.
Yeah,
like, I mean, and for some people are like that. They're like, hey, like I can have like super casual sex where there isn't necessarily that strong emotional connection. I don't think I'm really wired that way, or at least not in this particular relationship.
I mean,
And I still need that, like, that intimacy. I would miss it a great deal, and I think that would be a much bigger problem for me if the sex went and the intimacy went.
Yes.
I think that would be much more problematic for my relationship in general.
Well, and that's
right?
what can happen in a sense. Like my partner and I have had to really work towards maintaining that, because we've discovered that once the intimacy starts going, that's when we start to argue more. That's when we start to. The not having sex is disappointing and frustrating for both of us, yes, but when we're not at least connecting as lovers in a very basic way, the rest
goes
falls
away.
apart. Yeah.
So I'd say a pro for me in all of this, though, is that what I've learned is that our intimacy and our compassion and our love doesn't have to be contingent on having sex.
Yes.
That sex is amazing and I still want to be having it, and, you know, this broken thing is frustrating, but I'm like, I can still be in love with someone and I can still have that, like, fluttery stomach feeling.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they can go hand in hand, but one doesn't have to inform the other, but you have to we've had to find ways of working around the absence of a lot of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
If you're experiencing anything like this, like, you are not alone. This
No.
is all in the range. It's all in the range of normal, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And I mean, we're fortunate enough that we're getting, you know, professional help, and hopefully, you know, you and I are going to be able to work through this and get to. I keep thinking, and get to somewhere. I don't know. It's not necessarily about getting anywhere. It's just about
This is how we are, and learning to live with it.
Yeah, and accepting your present circumstances, and it's like, right now, this is what's happening. This is real. Like, this is an aspect of our lives, and this is the way that it is. And for some people, it's not. And thinking about it in that concept of, well, it'll get better, and we will get better, also puts a lot of pressure on us.
It's like, there's something wrong with you and fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Which is how I thought about it for a long time. I was like, how do I fix this and make it go away? And now I sort of think of it as, okay, it's not something that I can fix in the same way that, you know, people live with chronic physical illnesses.
Yes.
And it's like, it's never going to go away. You just have to learn how to adapt to it.
Yeah, there's some improvements to be made and there's some work to be done.
Yeah.
But we don't have to fix this. We don't have to wave a magic wand and make ourselves feel better and then have all the sex.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. I think we're both incredibly lucky that we have partners who are willing to figure it out.
Yep.
With us, and understand that it's a process, and it's this is just sort of part of our lives together.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing we have in common. Our partners are awesome.
They are. They really are. They're handsome too.
Yeah, very pretty. If you enjoyed this vlog and the other vlogs, then subscribe to my channel, because there will be more vlogs. I'm also gonna put a link to Natalie Joy's vlog. She vlogs about all kinds of things, and they're all amazing and charming. And if you're not watching her already, you should be, because she's charming and smart and gorgeous.
Oh my
and
goodness.
fantastic.
Thank
and
you.
I'm subscribed to your channel.
You are subscribed. I'm subscribed to your channel.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.